saw some of those sets. And as a Marth, seeing Marth Puff, which you don't get to see that often. But yeah, Michael definitely a good player as a Spark.
And you can see the ridiculous amount of stage control that Spark has. He moves so quickly in such a tight space, and then it's really hard to tell when he's going to throw out a back air or an air. It looks like that is something we're going to see quite a bit in this matchup. It looks like Spark really favors back airs.
I feel like it's a strong Sheik tool in a lot of matchups, but against Puff, the way it just that stanky leg nature of it, it's so big.
Yeah, Sheik.
Obviously, Puff's is too, but
out of all the characters in the game, Sheik is the most likely to be a model. Her legs are ridiculously long. Yeah, so like most matchups in the game that were traditionally thought of as non-favorable, the gap is closing on this one too. A lot of people used to say this was very difficult for Sheik, that she lost the matchup. I don't know if I feel that way anymore. A lot of Sheiks will tell you it's even. Some of them even think they win it now.
I think people were more susceptible to some of the rest setups back then, and they might have, I don't know, years ago written it off to a degree, like just out of frustration. But people definitely have shown us that it's quite doable. Plup beating H-Box at times with his Sheik. That was eye-opening. And that probably...
You have like Swedish Delight also doing very well against Jigglypuff in general.
Yeah.
And it looks like Spark, yep, okay. This is exactly what I expected to see. We see Spark with a really strong game plan. Back air is not something you see from every Sheik. Michael learning to weave around them to get his hits in. So we're going to see what Spark has to counterplay that option.
Oh.
Couple up airs. Yeah, of course, Sheik so weak from above, and Puff's up air is ridiculous.
It
is
so
enormous. It's like the size of Puff's body.
Comboing into rest at times, setting up tech chase opportunities.
If you do a perfectly spaced up air, it will clean beat Falco's Dare. That's how ridiculous it is.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's nutty.
I was not aware of that.
Yeah. Best demonstration of its amazingness. Okay, so it looked like that was going to be a tomahawk. Spark was ready for it, doesn't arrow the shield. Okay, very safe drift away nair. Yeah, Michael doing a great job keeping control. And Spark's been on his back foot for a while now. Yeah, the tempo control slightly in Michael's favor. Of course, he is down to stock. And look, he's kind of staying low to go under the back airs. Interesting.
Yeah, but he didn't do anything, I guess,
to punish it hard.
Yeah, he didn't do anything decisive enough himself.
Yeah. And it looks like, if I'm reading it right, the counterplay from Spark is to occasionally throw in those really low, well-spaced forward airs, which hit like much lower than the back air does, and much sooner. So that's going to enable him to beat Michael's ground-based back air beating game plan.
There's 3 back airs in a row from him into the F-tilt as a mix-up. He hasn't F-tilted too much.
Oh, wow, that was so cool. So Spark threatens to come down with a back air on top of Michael. Michael starts to weave out of it. Instead, Spark does a double jump turnaround needle to catch the weight and ends up getting a forward air off it. That's a lot of work for like 2 hits.
Yeah. And a really strong way to navigate around the center of the stage.
Okay, this could be a KO, and it is. Spark looking like he has a strong game plan, and that other Sheiks could really learn from this guy.
Yeah.
Like, this is to the point where, I mean, of course, I have more than enough respect for Michael as a Puff player. So I think this is about Spark doing very well in the matchup, and I would actually point Sheiks in this direction if they're having trouble.
This is making it look very difficult for Puff.
Yeah, and he's exploring a lot of tools that a lot of other Sheiks don't use that regularly.
Puff Spare winning for once.
Yeah, I think Puff Spare is going to win if Puff is like slightly below where Sheik is, or on an even plane.
They're definitely both good back airs.
That's for damn sure.
And it's...
People have made careers off of Puff's back air.
It's interesting how such a nuanced difference in 2 similar moves, you know, it changes who's winning when they decide to throw that out in RPS.
Yeah, both just like extremely long, but Sheik's reaches upwards a little bit, and Puff's goes like totally sideways. So that like, just that one little interaction when their backs are faced is the entire matchup.
Yeah.
When their backs are facing each other, that's all there is to. There's very little else you can do. And it's about positioning yourself the right way. I like the little bait from Michael, not able to punish, but it does earn him a little bit of stage. Spark's having to fight his way sort of from the platforms and from the side. Looks like Spark found his way back on the inside. A little jab trying to convert it into a forward air. Ooh, fighting back with a fair. Needles. Enough needles and it can be it. Okay.
He's done a better job of not getting hit by needles this game so far.
Yeah, and it looks like Needles, not forward air, but Needles became on Battlefield the primary mix-up to the back air zoning.
Yeah.
So Michael must have a like sort of plan that soft counters both. Pretty intricate way he's weaving through the air to avoid both of those things.
And 2 opportunities with, you know, potential edge guard. Wasn't able to find the stock. Good crouch cancel.
Sheik way off the stage, should be an easy edge guard.
Yeah.
Let's see up smash kill that off, and that's pretty neat.
3rd time's a charm.
I guess Spark's already proven he's quite good at the opposite tech, where you tech on the stage. So a forward smash or a down smash may be a little dangerous. Like maybe he'll get it and live somehow.
Yeah. And she can't move left or right much when she's coming down, so to up smash right there, the up smash is big enough.
For sure. Definitely worth mentioning. Aerial superiority, like, in a huge way for Jigglypuff. Like, after Luigi, like, Sheik is the next lowest of the characters that actually, like, count as characters in terms of aerial mobility. She can barely move left or right. I don't know if this is just my feeling, so don't quote me on this, and correct me if I'm wrong on Twitter, but I feel like when Sheik starts up her jump, she has just like a little boost of horizontal momentum, especially her double jump. And it looks like Spark kind of uses that, like, or maybe it's just like the effect it has by changing your vertical positioning too, but it looks like Spark will sort of like float around after he does a short hop or a full hop, and then use his double jump to maneuver his back air.
I can neither confirm nor deny this notion.
Just a feeling.
You could be right, and Spark is the kind of Sheik that I could see taking advantage of something like that. But I don't know.
Even if it's not true, that's at least an illusion that it has, and in some sense, that extra bit of mobility changes things.
Consistent techs when given the chance. Michael covering the tech roll to even up the stocks. This is a deadlock right now.
Yeah, and if it keeps going at this rate, like, we might see one of my favorite things in Melee.
A timeout.
A timeout situation. I love timeout situations, actually. I think they're really
they're so exceptional, and just by definition, the exception to the norm.
Yeah.
So it's interesting to watch, especially different players doing different things.
But the way Spark's playing this stock, maybe we're not going to get a timeout. That's a lot of damage real fast.
Yeah.
But I guess this is where the struggle begins to KO Puff. Really, the only thing that's going to net you a KO is a little more percent and then, what, grab into up air or something? Down throw up air.
Yeah. Spark had a good conversion off of jab. I think it was jab into fair to take, like, the last stock, I believe. And, I don't know, it's just always take note of high-level players with all the characters finding jab into kill, you know?
I'm really impressed that Michael so quickly has switched to short hops, or like just one full hop rather than multiple jumps. And he's been adding many more of those into his game plan, sort of just peppering it in to get under that low back air approach. And then, wow, run up down smash. Catches, I think, Puff trying to take off there. You need frame by frame to make sure, but.
Back faced, bear out.
Still alive. Taking 2% in the magnifying glass. That's how far away Puff was. Living. Just the rinse and repeat from Spark.
Oh, and see, he covers the space with the needles and then throws out the jab like ASAP, and it's just this barrage. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, covering multiple options on Puff's recovery, not something you see all the time. And what does Puff do about it? Maybe drop a little lower before coming back?
Yeah, or you have to put your luck on an air dodge, you know? If you read
scary.
something like that, because and that could work.
Rest? Nope. I'm thinking rest mainly for the fact that get hit the other way. Mainly for the fact Sheik does not have an excellent rest punish, especially at this low percent. What do? Charge up smash, get like a grab.
Right.
So I'm thinking
right.
you rest the edge guard and you get a stock for certain, and then you just move on to the next stock with like 10 to 20 more damage.
I see. Strategically, I think that would have been sound.
But hey, he gets a stock taking no damage, so Michael, keep doing you.
Right. Taking some critical percent.
Okay, that time he weaves around the needles, doing an extra jump once he sees the needles getting charged. But it looks like a little bit of a mix-up in that situation. Spark's also on top of is doing straight needles versus the aerial 45-degree variety.
Spark is oppressive. Like, he was pretty close to the ledge that whole time, but in a strong way.
He's edge guarding him with needles! The crowd sort of pops off a little bit of that one. That was a really cool edge guard.
Yeah, like the way that he was controlling the corner was really strong.
Yeah.
And I mean, getting flashy at the end there, but the needles were good, and you could throw them fast.
Yeah, in a matchup, you don't expect to see it. Spark put on the oppression session in that last stock.
Yeah, for sure.